All right, welcome. We've all been there, right? That moment a critical system goes down and it just feels like pure chaos. In this explainer, we're going to talk about how to turn that chaos into a calm, structured investigation. We'll give you the roadmap to not only fix problems, but more importantly, to get ahead of them. So, let's set the scene. It's peak hours. Your most critical app is suddenly moving at a snail's pace, and your phone is blowing up with alerts. Everyone's looking at you. So what do? Where do you even begin? It's that heart in your throat moment that we're going to break down today. And the symptoms, oh man, they're always the same, aren't they? VMs are sluggish, applications are lagging. Behind the scenes, you might have a resync storm, which is basically a massive data traffic jam on your storage. Or even worse, you can't deploy any new machines. It really just feels like you're putting out fires everywhere. Okay, but here's the thing. What if you didn't have to be a firefighter? There is a method to this madness, and that's the big shift we're talking about, moving from just guessing and panicking to having a real structured plan. It's about becoming a detective. And this is our game plan. It's a 6-step loop, and it's brilliant in its simplicity. You see the symptoms. You make an educated guess, your hypothesis. Then, and this is key, you go gather data to see if you're right. If the data backs you up, you roll out the fix. If not, no big deal. You just discard that theory, form a new one, and run the loop again. This is what separates the pros from the amateurs. And really, this says it all. Randomly rebooting servers or tweaking settings without knowing why, that's just asking for more trouble. This structured approach means every single thing you do is deliberate. It's based on evidence, and it gets you closer to the actual root cause. Now, no detective works without their toolkit, right? Same here. You've got your built-in tools like alarms and performance charts. That's your 10,000-foot view. But for the real nitty-gritty clues, you have to dig into the log files. That's where the story's really told. And then you have your external tools, like syslog servers, which are like your central command center for all the evidence. Okay, so we've got our method, we've got our tools. Now it's time to go hunting for the culprit. And in any VMware environment, there are a few usual suspects that always seem to show up at the scene of the crime. First on our list is a classic troublemaker, CPU ready. Think of it like this. Your virtual machine has its running shoes on, it's at the starting line ready to go, but it's stuck waiting for a physical CPU to become available. If you see this number consistently hanging out above 5%, that's a huge red flag. And you know what? It's often a problem we create ourselves by giving VMs way too many virtual CPUs. All right, next up, memory ballooning. The name sounds kind of harmless, doesn't it? But it's actually a sign of distress. Your system is so desperate for memory that it's inflating this balloon inside the VM to basically squeeze memory out of it. It's a clever trick for sure, but if you're seeing it happen a lot, it's a dead giveaway that your hosts are starving for RAM. And of course, we have to talk about storage. The number one villain here is high data store latency. In plain English, this is the time it takes from when your app asks for data to when it actually gets it. When that delay gets too long, whether it's from overloaded disks or a hardware issue, your applications will feel it. They will absolutely crawl. You know, speaking of storage, so much of optimization is about making smart choices, understanding the trade-offs. Look at storage policies. You can go with RAID 1 for blazing fast performance, but man, it will eat up your capacity. On the other hand, you could use something like RAID 5 or 6, which is way more space efficient, but you're trading away some performance, especially during a rebuild. There's no magic bullet. It's all about matching the right policy to the right workload. So look, fixing things when they break is great. It's essential, but it's only half the battle. The real win, the holy grail, is getting ahead of problems before they even start. This is about shifting from being a reactive firefighter to a proactive architect. So how do you do that? It starts with simple, powerful rules. Here's a perfect one. Never let your vSAN free space drop below 25%. Why? Because that space isn't just empty. It's your safety net. It's what your system needs to handle a failure, to rebuild data. Setting up an alert for this, it's probably one of the easiest and most effective proactive steps you can take. And this chart really brings that proactive idea to life. Good capacity planning isn't just looking at what you're using right now. That's like driving by only looking at the hood of your car. You have to account for future growth and always keep that safety buffer. This is how you avoid those panicked late-night calls about running out of space. Okay, let's talk about a silent killer, configuration drift. This is that sneaky problem that happens over time. One admin makes a small change here, an emergency patch gets applied there, and before you know it, none of your hosts are configured the same. This inconsistency is just a breeding ground for weird, impossible to track down problems. But the good news is, we have tools like host profiles and VLCM that are built specifically to prevent this. So as we start to bring this all together, it really comes down to this: the proactive admin's mindset. This isn't about what commands you know, it's about how you think about your environment. And if there's just one thing you remember from our time together today, please let it be this: random guesswork creates so many more problems than it solves. Seriously. The next time things go wrong, just resist that urge to start flipping switches. Take a breath, make a guess, and then go find the data. That discipline right there is everything. So I'll leave you with this question. Forget about overhauling your entire department. What's one small thing you can do tomorrow to start shifting from reactive to proactive? Maybe it's setting that one capacity alert we talked about. Maybe it's just blocking off 30 minutes to actually read some logs. What's that first step for you?